Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives Podcast, Weekend Poppin'. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by Party Boy Pete McCormick and stunning Steve Cabot. Party Boy Pete, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, Matthew. I'm ready to get rocking and a rolling.
I love it. Stevie, how we doing, buddy?
He's tired. He's lethargic. He has a lot of more work to do. It's not going the greatest, but he's happy.
All right. Well, we're happy you're here, pal. So you can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod, and you can join us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. All right, let's get this thing started. Let's go.
Working perspectives. Yeah, it's our objective to be effective. My voice in society's working perspectives. We're exploring your workday and how you get paid. Launching new episodes every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform, with episodes available on all podcast platforms. Check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid like, share, and subscribe. Working Perspectives.
All right. So first things first, I do want to talk about last week's episode. I really enjoyed it. Thought it's been some of our best work thus far. It was the Rocco DeFinis episode. Party Boy Pete, what were your thoughts on that one? Because I remember when we recorded it, even afterwards, you're like, that was some good fucking shit, man. You know what I mean? So what was your thoughts?
Oh yeah, Rocco's he's a good storyteller. He knows how to tell a story. He's an interesting guy with a lot of jobs. So
yeah,
we go from Perkins all the way to his music videos. It's a good time.
Plus too, I mean, I will say this, and I know for we've always my brother's gay. We have a ton of friends that were gay and stuff like that. But I thought too, it was nice to see his kind of side of things and everything like that. I really thought that was very interesting to, you know what I mean?
I mean,
his point of
we're all a little broy, so it's nice to get a different perspective, on life and how the other side lives. I don't know how to say it.
No, I couldn't agree more. And it was really good stuff. Steve, what did you think, buddy?
I thought it was cool. The perspective, like you said, it worked well. To see his everyday life and how it goes. Like Pete said, if there's people that are on the most opposite side of the spectrum, but yet on the same because we wrestled. Yeah. It's us. So it's cool to hear just his story and stuff. It was neat. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to make this a theme, but Dick Pics do come up again.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude, that was a crazy.
All right.
It was crazy that his story, it got flipped on him like that, But for those of you who haven't heard it, Rocco talks about how when he was first identifying himself as gay and things like that, he had gotten a lie told about him at a store he was working at, with resulted in him getting fired. You can find it on the episode at all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. It was a really good story. I I forgot this. He was, when he was telling stories about winning a dance battle at a gay bar and then getting a job as a choreographer on a major play. I'm that shit doesn't happen. That wouldn't happen to any of us, unfortunately. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought that was just some movie shit. Go ahead, Pete.
For sure.
And on how the other half lives, with the Dick Pic story, it's so apparently his boss was showing dick pics to him and everyone else.
Yeah.
And Rocco made a comment of it in front of other people. And then the boss went and complained that Rocco outed him as gay. And it's wait a minute, you can't go around showing dick pics to everyone. And then
Yeah. I think people don't think you're gay. Well, here's the thing too. If anybody here once again wants to send dick pics to the show, it's at Working Perspective.
No, it's not.
Whatever
it's
Matt said.
No, it's
and
not.
Please put in the attention Matthew or AKA Uncle Matt, please.
It's actually at Schwab Game at Yahoo.com.
I swear I got a Doberman and I'll find you.
No, but no, it is. I mean, dude, that is not like, I don't know. It is crazy to think like that, like back then, right? This dude, he's like you could take pictures on your phone, which is something that was new back then. And like, you know, everyone had fucking pics of everything on their phones back. Even now, people still have that shit if you're single, you know, but like people still have all that shit on their phones and stuff. But the fact that he was like showing that at his job, I think if it happens now, right, that it could be like in the news, major fucking thing, totally fired, like ruins your career and everything like that. Wouldn't get a job after that. But back then, he was able to flip it on like the gay guy at work and said like he was making fun of him for being gay when he's not or something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, you know, it is crazy how the world is changed. Can't even show your dick at work anymore. Like, what the hell? What kind of world are we living in? You know? But all right, nice.
Damn shame.
It is. I do like though that it just shows like our kind of range on the show, where we had Rocco DeFinis on the show, and you know, a former Mr. Gay Congeniality Philadelphia winner and runner up, right? And like you guys saw the promo poster, he's a good looking fucking dude. There's no denying he's a good looking fucking dude, right? We have him on the show, right? And then next week we're airing, and I'm so excited for this because it's hopefully going to break us into a demographic that I really want to get into, because like I've said before on the show, we interview people that are somewhat around our age bracket, but the guy we have on the show next week, Mr. Bowers, right? He's one of our best friends' dads, right? Jay Bowers' dad. And he's a master carpenter that owned he used to own a business called Lansdale Home Improvements, right? And he owned that business for, 30 years or whatever. He's built houses and all these kind of things, to go from a guy who was legit like the epitome of blue collar, like you had Rocco, who's, he's Rocco, he's an artist, to go from the guy who's the epitome of blue collar, and like his story of like raising 2 kids, and like he had like there's something tragic that happened that we go over, but like it really just shows the versatility. And I can't wait. Hopefully this like inspires other people in his demographic to be on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, Steve, we would love it for your dad. I know it'd be tough. Obviously it's not going to happen, but I'm saying like something along those lines of, like someone in that age demographic to come on the show. Like I know, Pete, we have your parents lined up. I think like all of that would be it's so good. Because all the
we got a lot of we're a couple millennial dudes, and we're getting some boomer men on here to teach us how the world went back in the day and how they got to where they are.
Yeah, we're not
how they earned their retirement.
Yeah, we're not millennials anymore. We're DuckTales generation, Pete.
You're right, DuckTales. We're DuckTales.
DuckTales generation, and goddamn proud of it. So nice. So yeah. So like I said, next Tuesday we're airing the episode with it's Mr. Karl Bowers, and featuring his son, Jay Bowers, who's also on the episode, but it's mainly focusing around Mr. Bowers and his like progression of Steve. There's a behind the Wawa in N-Dub, right? There's like, it's like a car garage there, right?
Yes. Yep. Hanks.
What? Yeah, exactly. But I think it used to be called like North Wales Service Station.
That's still there too.
So there's a sign above the door of North Wales Service Station. It's a wooden sign, right? That was built by our guest next week.
Mr. Bowers, yeah.
Mr. Bowers.
Yeah, I know exactly what side it is.
And it's still there. And it was built, it's 30 years ago he built that. And it works into the story of like, that's kind of like one of the first jobs he had as a carpenter that kind of got him on the path of that. So it's crazy to think like, he has that history that he's still able to share.
Basically, if me or Matt were in charge of building that sign, we'd be up there every week putting more duct tape on. Like, all right, gotta.
Yeah. How about it, man? So, all right. So nice. So, okay. So let's keep it moving. So yeah, like I said, Rocco DeFinis is available now on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Next week, we're going to be launching Mr. Bowers, and he'll be available on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. But Steve, you were telling us something before we started the show, and I kind of want to get back into it because, not going to lie, A League of Their Own is one of my favorite movies. So I want to hear your undefeated, unbeaten, on taken down. You're the Floyd Mayweather right now of the under 12 girls softball game. So tell us what happened. Give us the whole spiel. How'd you get into it? What happened? Who'd you play? How'd it go?
It's draining. That's all I got to say. That movie is more real than you could ever imagine.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy Duke.
Now remember, my perspective is switched a lot because I've coached for over a decade in a high school in the wrestling room where it's all bets are off. It's as brutal as it gets.
Yeah.
You both know that very well. And this is when I say the polar opposite, I don't know if there's a better phrase for that. So, and then, again, it's my brother's oldest daughter, my niece. She's the shit. She's a great pitcher. It's awesome. My brother had another thing to do. So he's like, you want to go do it? Yeah, no problem. I get there, they're having fun. Everything's going well. I've now realized, which I've been to a ton of her games, but never really, I kind of keep my distance. That's like my brother's, lane. He does his thing there. No problem. So, I'm just there for support. I ain't going to teach her shit. I could teach her how to be tough and how to trip kids and do dirty shit like I used to do, but whatever. So we're out there and I now realize that it's more or less of a management instead of a coaching position. And I know why they call it the manager now, because in girls softball, I am managing tear flow the entire time. What? There's so much emotions. They're so emotional. It's unbelievable. I loved it. It was a great experience. I said to my brother, I think emotionally, I'm good for one of those a month. It's intense. Dude. And then it gets worse because then my emotions got into it a little more because as usual, you're supposed to realize that they're kids, right? You're here for the kids. Everybody's always going to have the asshole parent, right?
Yeah.
So again, one of their assistant coaches.
We all remember that guy, Steve.
Oh, of course.
I'll say we all remember those parents that took it a little too seriously, like at every match, like, oh, come on, man. Like
I'm doing that. As we're doing the whole ordeal, I now notice, like I said, in any other sport, just in every sport, I should say, not any other, every other. You always, if somebody does a good play as a true lover of the sport, a good human, as a good coach, you reward that person. So I don't care if it's a guy taking down my guy in the regional semis. I'll be like, when it's a good takedown, it's a good takedown. You know what I mean? Right. Like, hey man, that was a nice takedown.
Game respect game.
And especially at that, agreed. And you also have to, at that level, kind of give them, especially with young girls, you have to give them motivation. You have to tell them when they do good, they feel better. You pump them up. Yeah. So like a girl does a good play on the other team, you're like, hey, good job, 12. That was a great throw. Blah, blah. They got a coach on their team. He's all jacked up in like the tightest shirt I've ever seen. It's like 6 sizes too small. It's already annoying because I'm annoyed by just looking at him.
What?
And he's over there. He doesn't say one word the entire game. And our team beat the snot out of their team, right?
Oh,
so he doesn't say one word about any of the good plays they've done, right? Not a single word. Then at the very end, we kind of, you give some girls, if there's a lead, and you don't really care about the score, but you give the girls, this is rec ball, by the way, not the travel team. This is like recreational. Okay. So it's every level girls. There's some girls that don't even want to be there. They're just trying it for the first year, whatever. Yeah. So I get one of the girls, I said, hey, what do you guys want to do? You guys did really well today. Who wants to pitch? And the one girl says, I wanted to be a pitcher. I want to try. No problem. We put her out there. Dad's a good guy. She threw, when I say 1,000 balls in a row that weren't even close to the plate, I'm probably underestimating it, but whatever. Right. So she's out there. We're telling her good job. And this guy at first base, the fucking Chuchalamingia with the tight shirt says, don't swing the bat. She can't throw a strike. I looked over. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Take a deep breath. Don't tackle this kid in front of your niece and all her friends. Like this girl's on the mound. I can see her eyes welling up because she already knows she's not doing well, right? And now you got this fucking asshole being like, don't swing the bat. I was like, oh my God. It took everything in my entire world to just sit there and shut my mouth and realize that, but I wanted to kill the guy because I didn't want to make it. If you make a bigger scene, now the girls even feels more, you know what I mean? I'm like, come on, dude, you understand how this goes? You don't get it? You don't get it? Like, shut the fuck up, all right? Now, if you want to say that under your breath to like the other coach, be like, Jesus Christ, they're gonna pull this girl like she can't pitch a strike. That's one thing. You fucking air it out so everybody hears it and make the poor girl feel even worse than what she does. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna punch him. And that's
also,
what I said.
Too,
between
don't you have
their
like
emotions and those emotions?
Yeah. Don't they have like a don't swing signal too? Like, but like take the pitch signal. Like I've seen that a million times.
Not really, and not
at this level.
True, but 12-year-old rec. Rec, it's almost like, what are you doing?
But still, dude.
And also, it's a backwards philosophy. I'm like, dude, we're in 12-year-old rec. Just swing the bat. Like, you strike out your chance. Like, you're trying to learn how to hit. We're not like, Like, dude, I tell every one of my brother's girls when they go up there. Like, Rivera. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too is I remember
tough.
from back in the day, I believe like at some point if you walk so many batters, they just stop. I don't know what it is. Like
Yeah,
they just
Pete, that
stop
was our
allowing walks, right? Yeah. Like basically, like
Yep,
if they walk so many batters, like, well, we're not going to walk you. And then you have the kid there that won't swing, and the kid that can't get over the plate. So it's like ball 90, and everyone's like, look, we got to get this game over with, man. I got to get home and get dinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it. So that's exactly how it went. We did fantastic. So of course I had to brag to my brother and walk around, tell everybody how I'm now. Forget Connie Mack. This is fucking his cousin Chucky Mack. We out here dominating the area, and we're about to be a dynasty. So if anybody out there has a 12-year-old daughter that's a stud athlete, please email height, weight, 40, how many reps she does of 225, and exactly what her vertical is, and I will insert her immediately onto the squad. We're a dynasty.
Dude, I mean,
But
that it's got to be tough, though. Like, go ahead, Pete.
Coaching little kids can also be the best because I'm going to go back. I remember back in the day,
awesome.
Brandon Hill, a few guests of the show back in the day.
Yeah.
So Steve, I was at a wrestling
Me and Brandon did
practice
that
with
for 2 years.
Yeah, one of Brandon's younger brothers. I think it was the youngest one. He was like 5 at the time, and we're at a wrestling practice. And Ben, and Ben's like, I can't practice today. I have a quarter in my shoe. And the coach is like, well, take the quarter out. And he's like, I can't take it out because I'll lose it. I don't have any pockets. So there's like a 10-minute debate over what, and I'm just like laughing my ass off. I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's some North Wales shit right there. You can take the kid out the burrow. You can't take the burrow out the kid. He ain't getting rid of that quarter.
Sound logic, though. Sound logic.
Yeah,
right.
He's like, look, it's very uncomfortable, but if I take it out, that's a
already on
huggy or a bag of
mode.
chips right there.
Yeah.
Well,
he knew what he was
for those of you who don't know the Hill background, there was 5 boys in one small house. So when I tell you that these kids learn survival at an immediate age, they learn survival at immediate. Ben was the youngest too. Like there was probably no food left when they got done dinner. He was it's like the little pig that doesn't get to the mother. They all fight him off the nipple and push him away. That was him. So he learned how to survive. That's why he's hiding shit in his wrestling shoe.
Yeah.
Good for you, Ben. Good for you.
Smart kid. Yeah. Plus too, I mean, like like even the dad was like, he was wrestling everybody there. You know what I mean? Like even the dad was throwing stuff. He was the best. Mr. Hill.
Yo,
he was awesome.
We still tell this story. Mr. Hill used to show up, and me and Jay Romeo and stuff used to laugh that he would show up when we were younger kids. And I mean, we're probably maybe 7th grade, so we're like 12, 13, and we're on the North Penn Squires at that point. Mr. Hill would show up and beat the shit out of us. We were like, well, I don't know if that exactly helped. And he's like, I'm not trying to make you a better wrestler, making you tougher. We were like, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm like, Brandon, I think your dad just broke my leg, but we're all right.
Yeah, he did the same thing when he went to Panthers. Yeah. But nice. No, so okay. Pretty nice, man.
Legend. So shout out Mr. Hill, though. Great
shout
human.
out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah,
shout out
guy.
the entire Hill family. We'll give them all a
yeah,
shout
all
out.
76 of them. All 79. We don't
all
have time
525 of them. Yeah. So but no, that's cool. So you coached 12, dude. I can't imagine, like, because I will say this too. Those at that age, like those kids, especially like even boys and girls, I think a little more, they're fucking mean too. You know what I mean?
Oh, mean.
They are.
And
like, they're mean and heartless, you know?
And here's
John
Mulaney
had a good bit where he said 12-year-olds are bad because they say the stuff that you're sensitive about. You're like, oh, look at that man and his feminine hips. You're like, no, that's what I'm sensitive about. Like,
yeah.
They point out all your little picadillos.
Yeah.
It is definitely it's definitely a different experience coaching people at that level. One, two, like I said, parents are a little out there, and girls, ready? Flack, gonna get shit for this in 3, 2, 1. 12-year-olds are already not athletic humans at the boy level.
Yeah.
When we move it to women, some of the shit I saw there, I don't even understand how it could physically happen. I was like, I don't understand how we got from A to B. I don't know what just happened, but somehow it happened. I saw girls try to slide at the last second when they realized, oh shit, I should slide, and damn near break their fucking leg, watch it fold under them. And then I literally almost throw up because I realized that was me. My whole knee just blew the fuck out, right? And probably my hip. And then because they're little kids, she just bounces right up all happy. And I'm like, holy shit, her leg's not broken. I'm like, what? I don't even know what just happened. I don't know what I just saw, but I just saw your leg fold behind your back and you go full scorpion into the sand and then jump right back up like nothing happened.
Yeah, dude,
it's amazing.
That is pretty. I mean, plus too, at that age, they're all still growing and stuff. So it's like they're
It's like
so
watching
awkward.
baby giraffes run.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's so bad. So
But, I mean,
bad.
you know.
They're like stealing, and the girl has the ball in her hand, and the girl just took off to steal, and she's pretty much power walking to the base, but this girl can't throw it to get to the base. I'm like, you just got to take a deep breath and be like, you did terrific. Everybody did terrific. It's amazing.
Great effort. Yeah. Number one phrase. Great effort.
Coach two bands.
Yeah.
Chucky Mac. Charles.
Old Chucky
That's me.
Mac. Yeah.
That's me.
God bless you. All right. So, okay. Nice. All righty. So let's keep it moving. So there's something else that happened. And Pete, you sent me the video to this, and holy shit. So, okay, Pete, go ahead. Since you explain it to us, kind of what happened, and then Stoops, you jump in after.
So the main event was obviously Chandler versus Oliver, but on the undercard it was Jacare Souza, who, Steve, is he top 3 jiu-jitsu guy of all time, top 5? Like,
many would put him top 3. He's
him and Roger Gracie.
Oh yeah, Hodger's obviously number 1, and then you could sprinkle in a couple other Gracies, but you definitely, absolutely, no matter what, top 5 Jacare gets in there.
So he's fighting this guy Muniz, and Muniz takes him down, takes his back, and then breaks his arm. And like sometimes, like, you know what? If you told me like, hey, he caught Jacare with a hook and he was dazed out, this was a completely defensible Jacare. I've never seen it, and that was the fight that caught my eye.
Unbelievable. Yeah, for me, for sure, to see the dominance in, and what people don't understand is, of course, just like wrestling too, you try to get as sweaty as you can in the warm up, because when a dry skin's out there, it's much easier to pull off submissions in an MMA game when a guy is not sweaty. When he gets all soaking wet, then it's like, 2 grease pigs and we're getting fucking crazy out here. Yeah. So to see him dominate him that early in the fight, where you still have a lot of explosion left in you, you still have a lot of like quick twitch muscle, juice to the gills with blood and oxygen, and you're ready to see him just, I think it was the beginning of the second that he pulled that out, or was that still the first? That was beginning of the second. To see him pull that and on a guy like Jacare, it would be like watching Floyd Mayweather get knocked out by Logan Paul. You were like, what the fuck?
Wow.
It's like you can beat Bernard Hopkins, but you're not going to out Philly shelf Bernard Hopkins. You know what I mean? Like beating him at his own game, his own technique.
Yes.
Wait.
It was incredible.
So the dude that broke his arm, what was his name again?
Something Munoz,
Munoz or something. So he was kind of like Jacare was going in there the heavy favorite. Then was that kind of the
I wouldn't say heavy favorite, because Jacare's like 1,000 at this point.
Oh,
he's 125 years old at this point, and in Brazilian years, he's like in jiu-jitsu years, he's 4,000 years old.
Yes,
still the most dangerous.
Yeah,
it's not that he lost; it was how he lost. It was just,
agreed.
That was
Completely agree.
All right, well, this is changing of the guard.
No, for real, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I mean, every dog has its day.
Hey, that card was kind of packed with him, because not to jump too far forward, but the Tony Ferguson fight again too, man. Talk about, Ferguson.
That one was
undefeated for almost a decade, and now he's 0-3.
And I'm one of the guys, I always thought Ferguson matched up the best with Khabib. I thought not that he would beat Khabib. I was like, this is the guy, if anyone could beat him.
So wait,
these young guys, man.
For the people listening who aren't kind of in on it, so Tony Ferguson was undefeated for 9 years, right? And he was beating everybody, top class, like really good. Beating
top 10 in the world. Who's who? He's fought everybody.
Yeah. And so what's happened? He's starting to hit a downslide.
He's 0-3.
Yeah, he's 37 years old. He's been in a lot of wars.
He's been in the most wars, and when I say Father Time's the biggest motherfucker, he's undefeated. You know what I mean?
Is Tony Ferguson the guy that they've talked about on like Schwab or Schaub's talked about him and Rogan, where it's like he takes so much punishment, and after the fight they're like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like,
and he has such a high pace too. His pace, he'll trade a punch to take a punch, but his volume of punches, it's like a Nate Diaz on steroids. He just never is stopped moving forward, never stops throwing punches at any position, elbows from the ground. That's why people thought he was a great matchup from Khabib. He stopped a lot of people from his back with really good elbows, and he's all into like wing
that's a
chai
good
or
comparison.
wing, whatever the fuck that
Nate
is. And
Diaz with takedown defense. That's what he is. He was like a Diaz that was better at stopping the takedowns. And he made you like when you were like you could take him down, but when you were taking him down, you were getting hit the entire time and fighting off subs. And that's why against Khabib, I'm just like, look, Khabib can take him down, but he's going to be working the entire time over 5 rounds. I just thought eventually,
I agree.
It's a shame he never got that crack at the belt.
And when we say volume puncher, that means that neither of those are known for their knockout power. They'll just hit you with enough punches that eventually they break you.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it only takes one, man. And, you know, you don't have to be like, it's where you place it most of the time. It's not as opposed to how hard you throw it, really. So, all right.
Oh, yeah,
wow.
for sure.
So Tony Ferguson kind of, I mean, do you think if he makes a comeback, that's the biggest story in MMA then, if he starts coming back, or what?
If he comes back, I will continue to coach girls softball on a daily basis and lose my fucking mind.
Wow.
There's no way that's happening.
The world will truly end. So he's just like, he's a battle-hardened veteran. That shit, like, it's kind of like how Gotti was at the end of his fucking career.
He's the ultimate gatekeeper. Like, you beat that guy, now you're looking.
You
for
top 10
after that.
Yeah, you out there. You're top 5. You up there.
Oh wow. That's a shame. I mean, that's the one thing, like, when it is kind of nice to live through someone's prime and see like this, it is like an excellent kind of thing to watch. It's really no other word for it, where you get to see someone in their prime and go through these things. But when you start seeing like this slot, like, you know, the downfall and everything like that, like with Hopkins, like with Gotti, like with fucking Anderson Silva, like, you know, a ton of the guy, like especially in the fight game, and a ton of those guys. And it really does, like, even Ali versus Larry Holmes, like, it breaks your fucking heart.
Oh, yeah.
That, man.
Oh, completely. And to switch sports a little bit, but a guy that I watched through, like, because you were same age as us going through his prime. Did anybody see LeBron last night?
No. What happened?
What a fucking pussy. What a fucking pussy.
I didn't see it, Pete. What happened?
I knew Steve was going to hate. So they're again, you know, it's a playing game. The first time they had the playing game, and LeBron and Anthony Davis actually had a horrible game. And then the fourth, after Draymond Green raked LeBron's eyes, LeBron catches the ball what was he, like 5 feet behind the ark?
That's
shoots
being
with
generous.
No time left over Curry. It was 5 feet at least.
I'm saying that's being generous, as in like too short. He was way back. That was a bomb he hit after getting. He laid on the ground, Matt, and wiggled around like he broke his fucking leg because he got a light poke to the eye. Then he was over at the bench, like acting like it was the end of the world, and he had 7 people pouring fucking, I don't know, saline solution into his eyeball, and he's acting like even the fucking announcers, when he went to the line for the penalty, were dogging him. They're like, he keeps blinking because he wants to use that as an excuse if he misses the free throw.
I mean, it is basketball. Yeah. This is the sport where Paul Pierce got carried off on a wheelchair and then came back like 1 minute later. So the dramatics.
I can't. I love a good fucking show. Yeah,
I can't.
But it's like if you told me at the beginning of the year it was going to be Steph Curry versus LeBron in a play-in as the 10 and 9 seed, and then LeBron's going to win on a game winner.
I know, and all that's still crazy. I don't like how they call that one a play-in though, because now the Warriors are gonna beat the pants off of Memphis and still get in anyway. But
oh yeah, you're right.
I call it a play-in if it's do or die. That first game was between 7 and 8. It's weird how you can lose and still get in.
Yeah,
the pigtails, as what we used to refer to it in wrestling, the pigtail round.
Yep.
Correct.
If for all you listening out there, if you remember the Steve Cabot Part 1 episode, Steve actually had to wrestle in a pigtail match at Districts when I told that story, and he ended up winning Districts. I said it. Well, that was the crazy thing
because No, Steve, I just remember I remember the end of your senior year, it seemed like you were struggling a bit, and I was like, man, I knew how good you were, and then at sectionals, I was like, I don't know if he's going to make it. And then he made it. And then at districts, you just went ham. And I was like, all right, there we go. Steve's back.
Again, I always told I have a weird motivational. My dad used to hate this about me until people tell me, like, hate on me and tell me I can't do shit. Then I get kind of pissed and I have to prove. I was cruising my senior year. My junior year, it was probably my best year. So I went into my senior year, like, I'm going to fuck kids up. My regional bracket, my junior year, Mark Smith didn't make it out of. He was a returning 4th place finisher. He didn't make it out of my bracket at regionals. That's how deep we were. So I was like, no, I'm good. I can do this. We went down to Florida. I did really well there. I was like, I'm going to fuck these kids up. And then he fell asleep at the wheel, and you can't do that at wrestling. And, I also was not a, how do we put this correctly or politely, a cardio monster.
Who is?
So,
I mean,
fuck cardio, dude. Me and Brandon Hill would rather hide in the bushes while they ran around laps and then pop out of the last lap and be like, we did it.
Yeah.
As Kenny Powers used to say, I play real sports. I don't try to be the best at exercising.
That's right. That is something that should be put on a block somewhere above a gym. That exact statement is what I tell people. Again, more flat in 3, 2, 1. That's what I tell the CrossFit people. I'm like, you guys, if I have to see one more competition on ESPN of CrossFitters, and the people are like, what do you mean? It's a competition. Like you go against another guy, and I'm going, me watching another dude do pull-ups is not a competition. That's working out. That's my gym buddy. That's a workout. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You need an opponent.
Yeah. Also, if they
I'm not hating on the actual function of it. It's a great thing for your health. It's great we do it all the time as wrestlers. That was another little shy. We've been training like that forever, and it was just working out. And now they made their own little shtick,
Yeah.
Well, that was Doug Stanhope used to have a good bit about the Olympics, where he said the Olympics aren't sports; they're the things that make up sports. Like you might as well just have a competition called the tallest. Or like
hell yeah, hell yeah,
the fastest man in the world is the fastest man in the world. No matter how much anybody else tries, you're not getting Usain Bolt. But you can choke out Jacare. If you
hell yeah.
Right time.
Dude, I will say this though, if they the thing is in those competitions of like the CrossFit and stuff, if they let prisoners compete in them, then no one would ever fucking win again. Right?
They would do 4 billion pull-ups.
Oh, they would destroy. They would destroy them. Are you kidding me? It wouldn't even be close. Push-ups, pull-ups, deadlifts, like all that shit. Yeah, any guy who's done like real time, he's beaten the fucking piss out of him. So nice. All right, well, great stuff.
And the last thing on that card too, the championship fight, which was amazing. Great fight, beautiful fight. I'm sure you watched it, right, Pete?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Charles Oliveira, he went against the Beast, fucking what's his name, Chandler. And again, Chandler, when he talk about like all the tools, he literally, when he goes in there, he's not the tallest. He might not be the most explosive. He might not be the strongest, but he's damn near close on all of them. He's top level at everything, right? He's a legit human Tasmanian devil.
Oliveira has been around forever. Cause like, I'm always thinking, oh, this guy's like 38, but he's actually only 31 because he's been fighting since he was like 19. To be able to handle this is what showed me how good he really is. To handle a person like we were just talking about a gatekeeper. Well, this is like I put Chandler on makes you a world champion. I don't care if it's for a belt or not. You beat him, you're on that level because when he comes in that cage, it is such chaos. He has so much pressure, so much athleticism, so heavy hands that you don't have a second to breathe. He's all fucking over you, and he was beating the shit out of Oliveira in the first round. And then what he do? He went back, made some minor adjustments, like a real champion, gained his shit back, decided, came out and was enough of that horse shit, and then put it on Chandler in the second and came back. Like to see him go through that adversity, I was like, holy shit, that kid is a fucking monster.
Damn, fucking good on him. All right.
That was a great fight. Great fight.
Good. Glad to hear it. Good. I like seeing that shit too. I like seeing like, battle hardened kind of warriors going at it.
And Chandler's your consummate professional. Like he got up, gave tons of respect to Olivier. Like it was great to see. Like, you know what I mean? The respect between them and that instead of all this fucking nonsense that tries to sell tickets anymore.
I mean, but it's a shame. It is, but it's part of the game. It's almost when you see like like people doing flops in soccer and basketball. It sucks that it is part of the game. Where in boxing, like you do have to talk the shit because you have to sell the fight. It's part of your job as a fighter. You have to. Yeah. And that's
which is sad.
Yeah, I mean, like, and the thing is, it's like for years, it's like maybe the best fighters aren't fighting each other, but if they can talk the shit and get in there, that's the fight that the lay person wants to see, and that's where the real money comes in. If you can get like the lax fan in, So nice. All right. So let's keep it moving before we get out of here. Party Boy Pete, what do you got for a recommendation for the weekend?
And I am going back to the well. The PHS Pop-Up Garden is on Jamestown Street, the 100 block down by Main Street in Manio. So that's where you can catch me on Sunday.
Perfect. Oh, nice. Oh, so yeah, you guys are right there. Perfect. All right. Nice. Stu Baines, what do you got for this weekend, buddy? What's your recommendation?
Oh gosh, he doesn't know. Here's the thing. His recommendation isn't a physical one, it's a mental one. Don't be that guy ever. Don't be that guy at the girls' softball. Don't be that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking for you, and this ugly motherfucker will find you. I swear to God. If those girls went around, I wanted to beat that dude until my hand hurt, and then punch him again for making my hand hurt.
Yeah. If you're the kind of guy that has to demean a 12-year-old girl to make yourself feel better, go fuck yourself.
And even worse, not even know you're doing it because you're that big of a fucking stunad.
What a
the guy had clearly wasn't even had no idea. I was like, oh my God, how do you not have the fucking functional awareness as a human? How did you make it that far in life and not realize what's going on around you?
Yeah.
Sometimes the lower level gene pool slides through, and that's where we have to take it out. I'm ready to take it out.
Jesus Christ.
A little too aggressive already? Did
no,
a little too far?
No,
that is Steve, Charles, Darwin, Shawnee, Mac, Cabot on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, no, for those guys, that's kind of stuff you need to say that shit because that's bullshit. So those guys need that kind of wake up, and I hope he fucking hears it too. Yeah.
And the best part is he was all like, he looked like he does all the CrossFit. So he's probably feeling real tough with those muscles. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. Weights don't punch back. You've probably never been punched. I can't wait to punch you.
Yeah.
Get him, Steve. Hit the boot scoot and take us back.
Ooh!
The old Steuben's boot scoot. Love it.
Give me your wrist and I take your back.
There you go. Nice. All right. So I'll throw a recommendation out there for all the people who haven't watched it yet. It's called Mayor of Easttown. It's an HBO show that it's about. It's like a Philadelphia. It's a murder mystery show in a Philadelphia suburb. Takes place now. Really good show. So this has been another episode of the Work Perspectives Podcast Weekend Poppin'. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by Party Boy Pete McCormick and stunning Steve Cabot. You can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Work Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Work Perspectives Podcast. And join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. All right, this is the end of the show. Party Boy Pete, anything you want to say to the peeps before we roll?
Party on, party people. See you next week.
See you next week. All right, this has been the Work Perspectives Podcast Weekend Poppin'. Thanks a lot for listening. We're out of here. See you later. Bye.